VO2MAX, or maximal oxygen consumption, refers to the maximum amount of oxygen that can be used during intense exercise. This measurement is considered the best indicator of cardiovascular fitness and aerobic endurance. Likewise, a 1 rep max, which is defined as the maximum weight that can be lifted for a single repetition for a given exercise, is considered the best measure to evaluate heavy maximal dynamic strength, to improve both aerobic endurance and maximal strength concurrently in an efficient manner. Resistance circuit-based training is often advocated. Traditionally, resistance circuit-based training comprised single sets of several different exercises completed in succession, with exercises being generally performed at low loads, with a high number of repetitions, typically using a set length of time, with a very short rest period between exercises. Today, it's not uncommon for higher loads and a lower number of repetitions to be used when performing resistance circuit-based training. In healthy adults, the use of resistance circuit-based training has produced improvements in aerobic endurance and strength in some study protocols, while in other studies, improvements have not always been seen. Therefore, to determine the effectiveness of resistance circuit-based training for maximum oxygen uptake and upper body 1 repetition maximum improvements, Francisco and colleagues conducted a systematic review and meta-analysis. This presentation, brought to you by Talking Sports Science, will be a summary of Francisco and colleagues' research. First of all, regarding study selection, studies were only included if they involved resistance circuit-based training being completed by individuals between 18 and 65 years of age, who were healthy and free from injury. Studies were excluded if they did not specify the test used to evaluate the effectiveness of resistance circuit-based training, for example VO2MAX or 1RM. Studies were also excluded if they only examined the acute effects of resistance circuit-based training or examined a combination of different training protocols simultaneously, which included resistance circuit-based training. In terms of the inclusion criteria for VO2MAX, it had to be assessed through a submaximal or maximal test on an ergometer along with gas analysis, with values being expressed as milliliters per kilogram per minute. The specific inclusion criteria for upper body maximal strength were that the bench press 1RM had been used. In the end, 8 studies involving 118 healthy adults evaluated maximum oxygen uptake before and after resistance circuit-based training. And regarding maximal strength, 8 studies involving 237 healthy adults evaluated bench press 1RM before and after resistance circuit-based training. Moving on to the findings, the analysis revealed that on average, resistance circuit-based training can increase VO2max by approximately 9.7% and 1RM bench press by approximately 13.2% in healthy adults, independent of the resistance circuit-based training protocol used. Based on their research, Francisco and colleagues put forward general resistance circuit-based training recommendations to help enhance the cardiovascular fitness and upper body strength of sedentary healthy as well as active and trained individuals. When focusing on achieving improvements in maximum oxygen uptake, performing resistance circuit-based training 2 to 3 days per week over a 6 to 12 week period is recommended, with each session lasting approximately 20 to 30 minutes, using 6 to 12 exercises and performing 6 to 12 repetitions for each exercise for 2 to 4 rounds at intensities between 60 to 90% of 1RM. And when focusing on improving 1RM bench press, completing 3 resistance circuit-based training sessions a week over approximately a 10-week period, with sessions lasting from 22.5 minutes to an hour is recommended, using a total of between 6 to 17 exercises per session, with 6 to 15 repetitions, or 30 seconds of work per station, while completing between 2 to 6 rounds, and depending on individual training status, intensities used can progress from 30 to 60% 1RM and beyond, with higher relative intensities being used for those individuals who are more highly trained. Therefore, along with individual needs, the broad ranges allow training variables to be manipulated in relation to any time constraints. And that concludes the summary of Francisco and colleagues' research for demonstrating that resistance circuit-based training is an effective and efficient training method for the concurrent development of VO2max and strength in healthy adults. As always, I recommend you go and check out the full article. The link is in the description. Thanks for listening, folks. See you next time.